Welcome back to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is part 2 from round 1 of the 2023 Cascade Challenge presented by Discraft. We're up here at the gateway to the Olympic Peninsula in Shelton, Washington. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm here with Connor O'Reilly, who popped a good round today. Look at you go, Connor, 5 down on that front 9. How'd that feel?
You know, I love me some woods golf, and yeah, it's been a season where I've been on the verge of fire all year. Just had a couple bad holes, so I'm just trying to slow the feet down and let the work happen.
You can see our boy James Conrad absolutely shredded that front there, as well as Evan Scott, who is on the same card as James. So they're really putting together something special over there and getting right into it here on the back 9, hole 10. Little setup. Par 4, only 520 feet. You really only need, like 330 to 350 off the tee here?
Yeah, it just depends what shot you want to throw. This one really lends to that forehand. It's going to be tough to do anything but get straight out the gap with the backhand. And then
this one kind of shapes back from left to right into the woods. And then there's a little bit of a unique feature here, a painted hazard area. It kind of goes pretty well with the design on this hole.
I think it's needed, otherwise this hole would really just be getting shredded. Eagle dealing with some distractions. This is a course where quite a few holes stack up to where tee shots can find other teeing zones, and distractions can definitely be plentiful.
It's the second time this round we've seen Eagle kind of favoring his arm and then pulling a forehand to the left side.
Had him skying this one. Couldn't tell if that got knocked down out of bounds. You really need to hug this gap inside and Carter a little too much, so looks like he might have gotten fortunate and gotten past the mandatory though. Anthony shanks it wide of the gap. Wow. We had all 4 players just mess this one up. This card has been having quite the troublesome day. Still not a super long hole, so 2 chip shots can net you par. But there are a lot of trees coming into the green, so it can be tough to pick that gap coming in.
Anthony going high, turning this over.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
That is so incredible. Whoa. One of the prettiest shots I've watched ever, maybe. That was... he threw the U-turn shot on the U-turn hole.
Oh, no.
Carter tries the same thing and throws a cut roller.
Same thing, and that kind of shows you just how high level Anthony's shot really was.
Yeah, it's not a shot.
He got that flippy mid to just like float.
I think that was that
out of
Luna.
That. Was it the Luna?
Jammed an MTA shot into the wind nearly. Anthony's been at the beach on the West Coast practicing his windy self catches, and Adam finds that hazard.
This card is just having a tough day, Connor.
Yeah, it's very surprising to watch. I keep waiting to see them kind of jump out of the funk, but just following them and goes to show Shelton Springs has some teeth. And this approach, there's those 3 trees in the middle of the big part of the gap, and you kind of there's a couple approaches out here. It feels like you just have to hit your shape, and you need to get fortunate on some trees, whether or not you're inside the circle or 70 feet. You feel like you can kind of throw the same shots. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Carter just lost a few feet of slide by hitting Eagle's disc there.
He hit Eagle's disc. It actually pushed Eagle's disc from in the hazard to out of the hazard. So when Eagle walked up, he thought that he was safe.
Oh my goodness.
Spotter proceeds to tell Eagle that no, actually his disc was hit to where it is now. And Eagle's talking to his card mates, wondering what he should do. So we actually went ahead and played it both ways.
What a whirlwind.
So this would be for his 4.
Drops it in there. Okay.
Okay, so not going to clear it. Just going to step right up. Call provisional.
Can player B stack it up?
Oh. That would have been too sick, Connor.
That would have been.
Oh, man.
That would have been very exciting to watch, regardless of the outcome. This would be a big confidence booster for Carter. And he gets it. Tough hole, but I mean, that's a putt he can take some momentum off of after a round where he just hasn't gotten anything going. Hole 11, we have our island hole, 285 feet. This one's going to force a gentle left to right shape that's going to just add a nice layer of difficulty to this one. There's a cinder block green. We have a little 2-foot high wall surrounding this one, pretty generously sized, but it really pinches as it gets towards the basket, and it's only maybe just outside the bullseye on the long side and the left and right side. Turnover putter is going to be common. Just a matter of not putting too much pace on it.
It's pretty rare to have a island green in a tight forest, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think this is one that I feel like it's doing such a good job because it's right in that range where you have to put a little bit on it, but you put too much, all of a sudden you're flying it out the back. There's that log to where you can't just slide it up short. It forces you to play a turnover shot. So there's just a lot of things this one's doing well.
And that P3X shot was early out of the hand, but good angle and gets the gap on the backside. I almost feel like this is one of the signature holes at Shelton.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like it's one that can really give you some momentum. You birdie it, you feel really good. If not, that drop zone putt is tricky, and you could even miss it out. Go out of bounds twice in a row, take a double. It's just a confident shot. Like, you know, there's probably 3 or 4 discs in your bag you can play on this hole to get it realistically and repeatably, but you got to choose the one you're feeling good with and just execute. Carter catches the well-placed log, not allowing you to slide up. Another great putt. It's 2 in a row from circle 2 for Mr. Ahrens. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't earned the Mister yet. He'll have to wait a couple years for that.
Adam, right on the pole from outside the circle.
Gets hammer time from an excited fan. Can Anthony continue the putting highlights here on the 11th?
Let's go, AB!
There it is. We're looking at our first potential frame of the round. This is more of the golf we're looking to see.
Let's go, Eagle!
Eagle does not let us down.
There we go. Maybe that'll get things going for this card, Connor.
Was that 3 of them from circle 2 on the island? You wouldn't really expect the whole card to birdie it in that way.
All right, hole 12. I really feel like this is the definition of a bomb and scramble hole for me. It's only 600 feet. It's really difficult to land your disc on the exact trail that leads to the pin. So you might as well bite off as much distance as you can, aka the bomb, and then try and scramble up there. Because this is the main line right here, but that's a 3-foot wide landing zone that you're trying to hit. So stretch forehand plays and a high-speed driver that flips late in the flight plays. There's also this flex line that I think Anthony's going to be lining up here. Or he might even be going
Such an
roller.
aggressive line. It looks like he is going roller, which honestly, I don't even really understand why he would do that, because it's so aggressive and really hard to execute.
And there's so much on the ground, too, preventing it from rolling.
But like I said, there's a couple different schools of thought with a course like this and a hole like this. You can play placement shots with your mid-range like eagle and go long in the fairway like most people will go with their fairway driver or driver.
Yeah, he just turned the catch cam with an MD1.
Or you can kind of just blast it up there, and if you make enough progress, you understand you'll have not too far to go and some kind of opportunity to scramble. Had him with his signature tap step load up.
Just kind of burned that one over a little bit.
Found a good spot though. He has a clean swing and he's sitting in the biggest airspace on the hole for the second shot. Yeah, I don't know. I really like Eagles play here. I really like playing a mid-range. If you execute your mid-range or even putter off the tee, you're going to have a putter in. So I don't really love playing super aggressive on this one. But if you can get a clean flight and make some progress, it's going to be pretty simple chipping in anything from 200. And Carter going with another putter roller. I am dumbfounded by some of this decision making. I'm just going to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, you really have to do what's comfortable here in the woods, you know? And when you're over par and you are struggling hitting gaps, sometimes you just kind of lean on your comfort zone.
Adam with glow zone in hand. Not quite the clean flight, but he has opportunity for par save. Or no, I guess that'll be the birdie for him.
He's going with another one of those hyzer flip up shots with that flippy putter. And
yeah, this is approach that really lends to that shot a lot of the times. Carter with the forehand Annie chip up. Anthony nails a putt over the low shrubs.
little turkey action there to get him to three under. Really well played hole from Eagle. Mid-range putter with the 20-footer.
Yeah, he really pushed that long zone with the mid-range, though. So impressive, his power. Had him one little tree in his stance. Not a problem, though. And all of a sudden, Anthony's right there, pressuring for the hottest round on the card, but it is well behind our leaders. Evan and James on that same card, riding a 10 down through 12.
Billy Rossini and I go back to 2007, I believe. Billy was one of the guys that was actually sponsored in Charlotte by Innova. He said, hey, here's my product, and I was already in. All the scoring that we do in our sport now is all digital. Having some sort of backup power source is gonna be really important. We feel that it's good quality product. And having a stash pack that holds the cable that connects to any device, it just works. It's not just my business partner, it's my friend. And so that's why this thing really works for me.
At Discraft, we don't wait to see what the future holds. We build it. The future is in your hands.
All right, hole 13, 360 feet. This one shapes up beautifully for a distance driver forehand shot, navigating to the left of this fir tree and over this little bush as it starts to fade back to the right and hopefully miss these late guardian trees at 25 feet.
Yeah, backhand's going to be a much more difficult shape. So many more trees in the way. Power flat forehand that fights out is really the shape here on 13. I believe it's the second longest par 3 on the course. Typically on the Pro Tour, this is going to be in the shorter range of par 3s. Eagle just
kisses that
Little
cloud breaker, Connor.
little
I just
baby
don't
step
even
forehand.
understand.
Puts it deep. Got the bush to deal with, though.
Is he throwing 100-gram disc? How does he just like flick his wrist and get that to go 390?
If you don't believe in mechanics and levers and mathematics, watch Eagle McMahon throw that forehand right there.
Beautiful force forehand there for Adam. It used to be one of his more overstable forces in his bag, but the way it's flying, I feel like it has to be beat in at this point.
Anthony catches a trunk on his way in. Carter, I didn't really know that he doesn't throw much forehand until today, but been choosing that backhand putter and nearly keeps that hot putting streak alive.
And that was his look for par, and his birdie streak has come to an end.
Eagle has to putt over the bush, but makes good. He's got definitely one of the higher deliveries on the tour and doesn't rely on the downswing below the belt, so it helps in those situations.
I love that Eagle's still stuck with the forehand there, even though he's missed, 4 of his 5 forehands so far this round, and just kind of stays confident, sticks with his game plan.
Yeah, trusting that that's the proper shape on the hole in terms of just the clean line and not trying to force the backhand.
And that injury was 2 years ago now, and he's still favoring his arm. I have to wonder if that is just precautionary or if he still is kind of feeling something from that, because his form is completely different, right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is just he just doesn't want to not be able to play for a long period again, and it's really easy to overdo it, and all of a sudden that one little slip up and it's too much. So showing a lot of maturity, doing what he's doing. Hole 4, gonna need 2 very accurate shots to score. Nice hyzer stand-up shot off the tee. If you can push yourself to the straight or right side of the fairway, the approach is going to be the biggest window coming in, playing kind of a wide shot to the right actually of where this drone's flying, and then getting fortunate through his last couple trees. But really, no matter how you draw up this second shot, you're going to have to shape a magical line to get into circle 1. 14 actually playing as the hardest hole on the course today. Eagle makes so much progress, though.
That's huge.
Encroaches on the card in front of him and puts himself in between the 300 and 200 to the pin stakes. He just threw a 500-foot hyzer in the woods.
Yeah, early left is a really tough spot.
All of a sudden, Eagle does not need a magical shape from there. Carter gets a magical kick, though. That thing could have went anywhere, but continued on a straight and narrow path up the fairway.
Oh. That stump keeps Adam from hyzer skipping another 50 feet up the fairway. Good look at what Adam has left here. Just a little overturned on that forehand. I think he was trying to scoop that back to flat.
Yeah, I definitely think he was looking for that long flex there. Carter going standstill. Those bushes over there just don't really allow much run up. And it is nice having a course with some natural rough to make you deal with some shots in different ways.
Quality Luna approach there from Anthony.
Carter going stand up, hyzer, masterfully done. Nice gentle ground play on the down-sloping green.
Yeah,
Park job.
He certainly has the skill set. What do you think of his game so far?
Yeah, I feel like he definitely has really good backhand mechanics, and he's shown some strong putts in spots. Whoa, crazy jump out of Hamy's shot, but
Bit of a composed 15-year-old too.
absolutely doesn't seem to be too high or too low out there. Maybe look for him to add some more forehand trust as he goes on, but as we've seen in this game, backhand is the king.
Eagle's drive was so big.
Yeah,
He had, 240 into the green right there?
It's so rare to be able to throw a shot that doesn't have to snake through on the second one, and just to be able to throw a flat shot or be able to throw a hyzer shot. You have to throw such a good tee shot to have that luxury.
And Eagle actually had a pretty big reaction when his approach didn't go in. He thought he dialed one up, and it just faded just a couple feet left of the chains.
He had a couple near throw-ins last weekend, so I think he was with that same purple disc as well, so he's feeling right now like when he puts that thing out, it's got a chance.
Yeah, it's a beaded putter. It's a P3X, actually. Out of production.
I used to love throwing that thing. Eagle with 4 straight, all of a sudden moving himself up to a decent round.
Right, 15, just 310 feet. You know, this is really one of the shorter courses on the tour. Just 8,200 feet total. This one's kind of a curveball. If you throw a dead straight shot, you're 25 left of the pin. Just the slightest bit of left to right at the end of the fairway. But these trees on the right, it's easy to get down there and tough to putt out of them. So, surprisingly difficult. This gap early is only 12 feet across.
Very surprising to me to see Eagle go forehand on this one, where I don't feel like you need to really move the disc to the right very much to score here.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to throw the Rainmaker hyzer.
Yeah, whether he wants
like
to go
this shot right here.
Exactly.
This is exactly what I was picturing Eagle throwing, but
I really find the 15th an enjoyable one to throw and aesthetically pleasing. Pretty simple on paper, but still has nuance. Adam skipping off the gravel. He's going to have a tough stance down there. Wonder if Eagle has any thoughts of changing his game plan after watching Anthony and Carter shape up that backhand flip up that he's thrown well quite a few times today. No. Almost didn't matter though. Lengthy putt there for Anthony with a bit of a downhill slope, so that's a good pickup. Adam having to go back knee on the log. All arm on that putt. High skill level.
especially with that little ceiling right there. Yeah, Adam doesn't seem too stoked, but he's quietly at 600 par.
Carter's starting to get it going a little bit here on the back nine. Still been a pretty uneventful round for him, though. Minus the fact that he probably just made his first feature card playing with some of the best in the world.
James just isn't letting up on this field. 11 down through 15. Igor LaCastro and James Proctor trail him by a couple.
And hole 16's maybe going to be the most narrow feeling gap off on the course. A lot of players are going to elect to go forehand here just because how tight the backhand feels. Push out something flat, have it fade late. There's also this skinny hyzer route over the trouble on the right that some players have been electing for. And I haven't really seen it thrown much, so I'm interested to see what these players choose here.
Yeah, how scary is that hyzer on that right side?
It's scary enough, and I've heard enough bad talk about it that I didn't even really want to try it and kind of coax myself into it by actually throwing it well. So I stayed away from it, but my eyes keep drawn to it. Like, ooh, it looks enticing. If you hit this gap on the left, though, I think whether or not you birdie, you feel pretty good.
I'm kind of flattening out that forehand just a bit. Fades back to a 40-footer. Oh, here you go, Connor. Carter's got you.
Time to get some research in. What we got, Carter? Gonna need a flight tracker on that one to see what's going on.
Oh,
And he makes it look good. I
On
think he
the
played
money.
wide of all those trees out there, and
little Simon line for you.
I wouldn't hate to see that one mandatoried away. But at the same time, if they leave it, player's gonna take it. Ooh, an eagle getting skinny on all the trees, but it's kind of what you're required to do on some of these shots. You hit that initial gap, you hit the initial angle, and then you just roll that slot machine.
Adam punches that through a chest-high gap, and
I think he did the right foot in front step up putt thing there. He had some funky footwork going. I don't know what exactly that was.
oh, it's sad to see. Adam hit the band, and Carter just pushes out low right on that Chain Star. You know, I really love these baskets. I think the Chain Star Pro is a quality target, and I do see the low right get pushed out more often than some of the other baskets.
Yeah, it feels like, especially as a right-hand putter, if your putter's coming in flat on that right side, it feels good and like you're encased in the chains, but it just doesn't like it.
I do feel like it's one of the better targets we have, and I'd love to hear what you guys think at home. Leave us a comment. Vote on your favorite basket to both play on and watch the pro scene putt on. Here we are moving into hole 17. If at this point in the round you've been struggling with your gaps, I feel like this is a really daunting gap. And if you've been piping it, it's only 325 feet. It's dead straight, finishes slightly to the left.
Yeah, it's another one that's not going to show on camera quite how tight it is. It feels really attackable, really gettable at this distance, but it's a course that's tight enough. It's hard to feel at ease on some of these gaps. Eagle takes a huge kick left. Anthony early as well, but fights through to the open. Gonna have a bit of a deathy putt there, but I don't think Anthony is in the mind frame to lay up here.
This card actually had about a 10-minute backup before they were able to tee here on 17. I know that doesn't necessarily help keeping a rhythm there on the tee pad.
Absolutely. I think 18's not too far beyond the basket there, and I know that one was getting backed up and only about one card could fit there, so maybe it was kind of leaking over onto 17 and they were just holding them off. Eagle, I don't even recognize this spot on the hole. And he's going to have a lot of work to even have a par save.
Adam also in a terrible spot. Floats it over the pin to 25 deep.
There's a noticeable downslope on the right of this basket. Probably one of the steepest greens on the course, but for the most part, pretty tame putting greens from what we're used to on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, this is one of the flattest courses on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Wow.
Eagle draws metal from deep in the bush.
Almost drops in the mortar shot hyzer for you guys. Anthony spins it, gives it a big run, and that tree's going to save him a few feet.
He's a madman sometimes.
He truly is. And yeah, that snake strike putt is lethal from anywhere, but also can get him in trouble sometimes.
That's a quality up and down from Hemius to keep him at 6.
And Anthony taking his time, doing his practice strokes. Fires into the chains for the par save.
Yeah, Carter a bit deflated.
Eagle with the bogey. Really been an up and down round for him, but scored enough birdies to keep himself in an alright position. Hole 18. It's a good finisher. Fly over these bushes off the tee. It's one of those holes off the tee where you can fly through this first 150 feet pretty clean. And if you want to work yourself to the left, you're going to need to get a little bit skinny once again. I like a power fairway driver on this hole. You'll see a lot of players also reach on the distance driver to try to get that left skip at the end through here, or even push it even further to the right to open it up. I heard they cleared out all this zone coming into the basket to allow for this nice straight tunnel shot if you do pure the drive. There's also a towering hyzer on the right side a lot of players will be taking just to give themselves some kind of a look. Nice wedding cake green to finish off here. Anthony going fast driver, pushing the limits of that right side, and even though he caught the trees, he had enough speed to nearly get to that landing zone.
Yeah, how much distance do you think you need off the tee here to get to the landing zone?
I think you just need a little bit over 400 feet.
Yeah.
I actually played Explorer today out past those bushes you can see straight ahead. But I think, the driver can do it. I just don't know that it's necessary with as much room as it's going to take up.
And you kind of bring in that OB straight ahead if you really get a hold of a driver.
Absolutely.
Eagle is going driver. 12 speed, overstable. I think that's a PD2.
This one's low. Can it get the ground action? Wow, it does. That stump is actually the spot to be.
Oh,
Not
man.
the best roll away.
Completely changes his angle into the green, but he'll have something.
Oh, this is kicking towards out of bounds for Carter. And he finds it. Adam going huge Annie with the zone. This is a risky shot. And probably not a bad tree hit just to drop straight down. That thing was going to test that out of bounds at the end.
Yeah, Anthony's thrown a lot of really nice touch shots with that Luna, including one of the highlights of Central Coast coverage this season, Connor. That boomerang shot.
Yeah, that thing was moving right about 150 feet at the end. Adam gets that Raptor up into the circle. Going to be a tricky stance, though. Carter going thumber. And he gives himself an opportunity, but not a clean look.
Oh, eagle looking high.
Grenade out of eagle. He is no stranger to throwing over 200-foot tall trees, as he showed us last weekend.
And drops down to a couple paces outside the circle. Pin
Man,
high.
that stump really screwed him over. If he's sitting on that stump, he has a straight putter 200-foot shot. And he had to go to a grenade. It has to make an amazing putt to save birdie, and he does.
After what 5 bogeys he had, Eagle still finishes at 5 under par.
Yeah, what an up and down round. Only 3 pars on the day for McMahon. Adam Strong off the top. Maybe the wind keeping it up in the air there. Should have been showing off his right shoulder. A little bit at the head too.
You know what term I learned today, Connor? Deep in circle 1 is a tester. A shallow circle 1, pop quiz.
I love it. Is that Mr. Ian Anderson there?
Yeah.
Oh, Ian's the best. That's a good one. I'm going to have to use that. Carter was slacking off on that pop quiz there. Didn't read the instructions, forgot to write his name properly.
Really tough finish to what was already an unfortunate round. Won't be the last time we see him on coverage, I can guarantee you that.
Not at all. I'm sure he's hoping to storm up that leaderboard with another hot round tomorrow.
Wow, Eagle, Anthony, Adam, all tying at 5 under. Carter finishes over par to open his tournament. We're going to take a look at the leaderboard here. James Conrad, a memorable 14 under par, bogey free. He leads Nico by 3. But look at the separation here. I think this is the first time in a number of tournaments where there are 6 strokes separating the top 10. Just doesn't happen anymore, Connor.
Yeah, we typically see that round 1 so clustered, but James really separated himself from the field. It was a great day for disc golf, and tomorrow is looking to be another. It's always a pleasure being in the booth with you, Nate. Don't forget to drop a subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.